Good morning, class. Now it's time for reading and writing. Could you please get out your writing journal? Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to write about everything you can remember about what we learned so far about Native Americans. Okay, so get your pencils out and you're going to give me, it's a free writing. So you're going to write about everything you can remember, okay? You may begin. All right, good job. We're finished. Okay, so I'm going to call you by table. When I call you by table, you're going to walk to the front on your carpet dot. Table 1. Table 2. Table 3. Table 4. Okay, so today's objective is, given an informational text about Native Americans, students will ask and answer who, what, where, when, why, and how questions with 83% accuracy. Your learning goal for today is to be able to ask and answer who, what, where, when, why, and how questions to demonstrate understanding of an informational text. Okay, so today you will be working in groups to create who, what, where, when, why, and how questions using an informational text about Native Americans. When every group is finished creating their questions, I will instruct groups to swap papers and you will answer their questions independently. You will be graded on the accuracy of your created questions and your answers to your peers' questions. You need to score at least 10 out of 12 to master this skill. The purpose of this lesson, it is important for you to learn how to ask and answer questions about an informational text. It will help you gain a better understanding of what you are reading. Okay, so we are going to read this text. It is called Native Americans of the Plateau. I'm going to hand you out your papers. I forgot to tell you to take a pencil with you. I'm sorry. All right. So let's read this text together. Everybody should be following along. It says the Native Americans of the 1800s lived across the western part of the continent, including an area called the Plateau region. This region includes portions of the present-day states of Idaho, Oregon, Washington, California, Montana, and areas in Canada. Native American tribes who lived in this region included the Kootenays and Walla Wallas and Curdellings and Kiowas and Nez Perce. The weather in Plateau region is extreme. There are hot summers and cold winters, but the Plateau region also has water and abundant plants and animals. Like neighboring tribes in the Great Bison region, Plateau people were hunter-gatherers. They traveled from place to place according to the availability of food during different seasons. Plateau Native Americans were highly skilled in living off the land. Men, women, and children all had special jobs to perform as groups worked together to find food. Like all other Native groups, Plateau Native Americans respected and honored nature. They believed it had spiritual powers or forces. The Plateau people could draw on a much wide range of food sources compared to some other Native American tribes at the time. In 1805, about 6,000 Nez Perce or Ninipu Native Americans lived in Plateau area. Here's how you would have spent a year had you lived with them a long time ago. Okay, spring. This is how they lived in the spring. The snow has not yet melted, and all the dried food the Nez Perce have saved for the winter is gone. Now they must seek food. Those in the large villages break into smaller groups. Some Nez Perce put on snowshoes to hunt deer, bear, or caribou in the valleys. Others paddle their canoes down the Columbia River to catch the first salmon of the year as the fish travel upriver to spawning or breeding areas. Here, salmon is not only extremely important as a source of food, it is also sacred. The Native Americans of the Plateau depend on the salmon to live. They eat it. They also dry large amounts of it to trade and to eat during the months when they leave the rivers and head to the mountainside. Salmon is so important that every man, woman, and child who is not sick or hunting deer joins in on the salmon hunt. For the Nez Perce, this is more than just a hunt. It is a religious ritual. Thousands of Nez Perce gather in river villages to catch and process these fish. A shaman wades gingerly into the river. From gurgling waters, he crosses a few salmon and catches them with his hands. These salmon are thin cooked. Everyone eats a little piece and shares in the first catch of the salmon season. Then the bones from the salmon are placed back into the river. The Nez Perce perform this ceremony to pay tribute to the river spirit and the salmon spirit. They believe that this ceremony will ensure that the salmon will return next year. Then the hunt begins in earnest. Some Nez Perce fish with a hook and line. Others try to spear salmon with harpoons or try to catch them with traps and nets. Afterwards, the people work together to clean the fish and hang them on racks to dry so they will not spoil. Our next season is summer. So during the summer, by the middle of summer, the Nez Perce break up into smaller groups and move from the river villages to the mountainsides. There, they search for wild carrots, onions, bitterroot, celery, and parsnips. Some young Nez Perce search the bushes for huckleberries and blueberries, while the men are off on long hunting and trading journeys. Women have the main responsibility to find, harvest, and preserve plant foods. The life of the entire group depends on the women drying enough food for the winter months. So autumn and winter. In late summer and early fall, the Nez Perce build special homes to use in winter. They dig a pit about 5 feet deep and anywhere from 10 to 40 feet wide. Next, they build a cone-shaped frame above the pit, covering it with bush and earth. The builders leave a hole in the top that allows smoke to escape. That hole is also used for entering and exiting the earth lodge. Residents climb in and out of these warm, cleverly designed homes on ladders or notched logs. These structures are called pit houses. The pit houses is the perfect place to sit by the fire and listen to the older people tell stories and myths. In these stories and myths, animals, plants, rocks, rivers, and even stars come to life. Coyote the trickster is a popular character. He is always getting into trouble and into odd situations. The Plateau Indians often tell stories about Coyote to teach lessons to the children. During the winter, baskets are made and nets are mended or woven. These will be used the following spring again for the salmon. This is a time to gather energy while waiting for another spring. Okay, so I would like you to take your pencil and I want you to number your paragraphs as I do on the, you can lay down, that's fine. So we have paragraph 1, 2, paragraph 3 starts down here and goes to the next page. Paragraph 4, paragraph 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is at the bottom. Then you have 10, 11, and 12 on the back. Okay, so the first question I am going to answer is a what question, or a who question, right? It's who, what, where, when, why, how. So I want a who question. A who question is a question about a person or a character, or it's about people, right? I need to look back at my text and see what who question I can ask. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to read the first paragraph and see if I can come up with a who question. Okay, so the Native Americans of 1800s lived across the western part of the continent, including in an area called Plateau Region. The region includes portions of present-day states of Idaho, Oregon, Washington, California, Montana, and areas in Canada. I can come up with a who question because it says, can you please sit on your bottom? It says that Native Americans of the 1800s, it gives me information about Native Americans, right? So my who question that I will be creating, or that I will create, is who lived across the western part of the continent Can anybody answer that? Who thinks they can answer who lived across the western part of the continent? Alexis. Yes, the Native Americans of the 1800s. So my answer would be the Native Americans of the 1800s. If I did a complete sentence, it would be the Native Americans of the 1800s who lived across the western part of the continent. Okay? All right, so my next question that I can ask is a what question? Okay? Raise your hand if you think I could create a what question from paragraph 2. It says, Native American tribes who lived in this region included the Kootenays, the Walla Wallas, the Coeur d'Alenes, the Cayugas, and the Nez Perce. Do you think I can come up with a, raise your hand if you think I can come up with a what question? All right, yes. So, if you raise your hand, you are correct. I could say, what Native America? What Native American tribes lived in the Plateau region. Then I'm going to answer it. Can anybody give me one of the tribes' names? Where did I get my question from? From paragraph 2? Okay, so can you find in paragraph 2 what Native American tribes lived in the Plateau region? I know they're very difficult names. So the first one, it says Kootenays, okay? So we would write all of these as our answer. Kootenays, Walla Wallas. Were you wanting to answer that? Alright, so that is our what question. Our next question is a where question. Right? Where question. Using the information in this paragraph, paragraph 3, I'm going to read paragraph 3. So it's on 2 different pages, right? The weather in Plateau region is extreme. There are hot summers and cold winters. The Plateau region also has water and abundant plants and animals. Like neighboring tribes in the Great Bison region, Plateau peoples were hunter-gatherers. They traveled from place to place according to the availability of food during different seasons. Plateau Native Americans were highly skilled in living off the land. Men, women, and children all had special jobs to perform as groups worked together to find food. Like all other Native groups, Plateau Native Americans respected and honored nature. They believed it had spiritual power or forces. The Plateau people could draw on a much wide range of food sources compared to some of the other Native American tribes. So using this information, I would ask, where did Plateau Native Americans find their food? Where did Native Americans? So I want you to look in paragraph 3 and tell me, where did the Native Americans of the Plateau find their food? You think you can answer it? Let's see. So right here, it says they travel from place to place according to the availability of food during different seasons. Plateau Native Americans were highly skilled in living off the land. What does living off the land mean? What do you need to live? Food and water and oxygen, right? So if they lived off the land, where did they get their food? From the land, right? They got their food from the land. So my answer would be, they got their food from the land. Now it's time for you to help me create some questions. I need, when I call your table, please get your whiteboard and marker and head back to your seat. Table 1. Table 2. Table 3. Table 4. Okay, you may put your journals away if they're still out from this morning. Who can tell me how you create a question using information given in a text? How do you create a question? Can you tell me how? What do you need to do? You need to look in the text and find what? You need to find information you need to gather information to create a question. So you need to understand the text. You need to understand what you are reading. So it's very important when you read that you take the time to understand and comprehend, not just read. Okay? Alright, so I need you to ask a when question. I want you to reread paragraph 12, okay? And use the information to write a when question on your board. So I'm going to reread it real fast. During the winter, baskets are made and nets are mended or woven. These will be used the following spring again for the salmon. This is a time to gather energy while waiting for another spring. So, write on your whiteboard a question that you can create from the text. Thumbs up when you are done. Okay. Alexis, what did you come up with from that paragraph?
My question is, when are the baskets and nets be used?
Say that again.
When are the baskets and nets be used?
What? Okay, change this word. When, but we don't like are because that doesn't make sense. Try it again. When what?
When the baskets and nets.
When what? When. Okay, good job. When will the baskets and nets be used? Can you tell me the answer to that question?
The answer is.
And we're not drawing on our whiteboards.
The answer is
They will be used the following spring. Yes, good job. All right. So now we need a why question. why. So reread paragraph 6 and create a why question on your whiteboard. If you need help, you may raise your hand. A why question using paragraph 6. This might help you. Just put it closer. Give me a thumbs up when you are done. Alright, everybody's done. Who would like to share their question? Alexis, what do you have?
My question is, why did the Native Americans of the plateau dry large amount of sand?
Why did the Native Americans, that's a good question. Why did the Native Americans of the plateau dry large amounts of salmon? And what was the answer? Do you know the answer to your question?
To trade and to eat during the months when they leave the rivers and head for the mountainside.
Okay. To eat or
To trade.
to trade, to trade
And to
and to eat
during the months
during the months
when they leave the rivers and head for the mountainside.
the rivers and head. The mountains. Good job. That's a great question and answer. All right. Okay, so our last question is going to be a how question. Okay, I need you to look through the whole article. I'm not going to give you the paragraph this time. You need to look through the article and create a how question using the information you read. Then give me a thumbs up when you are done. Okay, so everybody's finished. Who would like to share? Okay, Alexis, what did you come up with?
How do Nez pierce fish?
What paragraph was that in?
That was in paragraph 8.
Paragraph 8. And you said what?
How do Nez pierce fish?
Okay, how do Nez pierce fish? Okay, so what was our answer? Let me see. Let me try to answer it, okay? I'm going to see what you were doing. It says, then the hunt begins in earnest. Some Nez pierce fish with a hook and line. Others try to spear salmon with harpoons or try to catch them with traps and nets. Afterwards, the people work together to clean the fish and hang them on racks to dry so they will not spoil. Good job. So it says, some Nez pierce fish with a hook and line. Others try to spear salmon with harpoons or try to catch them with traps. So there's two different types, correct? Some do it fishing and some use spears. Good job. All right. Okay, so now you will be working in your reading groups to create 6 questions. 1 for each of the 5 W's. Who, what, where, when, why, and 1 for how. Groups blue and green will be using the same text to create their questions. And groups red and yellow will be using the same text. When all groups are finished creating their questions, the 2 groups using the same text will swap papers. Blue will swap with green and red will swap with yellow. You will work independently at your seat to answer your peers' questions. You may use the text to find the answers. Please remember to put your name on both papers. I have a spot for who created the questions and a spot for who answered the questions. So your name, put your name where it belongs so that you can receive credit. You are expected to follow all classroom rules and be respectful to your classmates. When I dismiss you to start working in your groups, you are to walk to your groups area quietly. Okay, and the noise level is at a 2, which means we're not really loud, but we can talk. Okay? Group leaders, can you please go get the materials for your group? All right. Red group, you may go to your area. Blue group, you may go to your area. Yellow group, you may go to your area. And green group, you may go to your area. Alright, now that we're done with independent practice, it is time to come to the front for closure. So can I get red group to come up on the floor? Can I get yellow group to come sit up on the floor? Now green group, please come sit up on the floor. Okay, so today you worked in groups to create who, what, where, when, why, and how questions using an informational text about Native Americans. You should have been able to create these questions to demonstrate understanding of the text. Turn and tell your partner how the process of creating questions made you feel. Students on the right should go first. Now, students on the left. Who would like to share? Would anybody like to share how they felt creating these questions? Alexis?
Kind of.
You felt weird?
Because
Because you've never created questions before. That is weird. That would make me feel weird too. Okay, so now tomorrow you are going to learn how to use your questions and answers to create an informational paragraph about Native Americans. When I call you, you may go back to your seat and we're going to get ready to do our math lessons. You can turn it off now.